Mothers of illegally mobilized students from the self-proclaimed Luhansk and Donetsk People's Republics have been trying for more than 6 months to get their children back from the war unleashed by Russia against Ukraine. The women wrote a collective complaint to the Russian Ministry of Defense. It said that back in the spring of 2022, under pressure, students were forced to sign contracts with the Russian army. Complaints and appeals did not bring any result. The students are still at war.
During their military service, they signed contracts with the armed forces of the Russian Federation, the validity period of which, for the majority, has expired. The contracts were concluded in violation of the law.
More than 100 Russian mobilized disappeared in the Luhansk region after refusing to sign contracts with Wagner PMC. According to the Astra publication, at first they were threatened by the commander. Then the armored fighters of the Wagner PMC closed the mobilized at the car-building plant in Kadiyivka. After that, the Russians were taken to a training ground in the Luhansk region. Since then, they have not been in touch, but before that they managed to tell their relatives about what was happening on the phone.
There are 150 of us here, locked up at the car repair plant. We were stupidly sold, but we did not agree with this. But these issues are not so easily resolved. Take 150 people like idiots and pull them out to the southern military district with the words that there you will be transferred to a military unit and will be trained, and then you will perform the function of territorial defense. And we, it turns out, are already behind the tape and without documents. Russian mobilized men from a telephone conversation with relatives.
Former mercenaries of the Wagner PMC told the public project Gulagu.net shocking confessions about how they killed prisoners, Ukrainian children and women. After publishing a video with confessions of war crimes, Prigozhin's resources began to publish posts refuting the stories of former prisoners who became mercenaries. And the authors of the confessions told the founder of the Gulagu.net project that they began to receive threats.
I can be liquidated as soon as possible. Do you understand what's the matter? So that you understand if something touches me. Go to the end then, understand? But don't leave my family, okay? I don't want this to happen, killing people.
The number of prisoners in Russia by the end of 2022 decreased by 17,000 people. This conclusion was made by the journalists of the Media Zona publication, based on data from the departments of the Federal Penitentiary Service of 35 Russian regions. Such a sharp decline may be associated with the recruitment of those serving sentences in the colonies for the war against Ukraine, including mercenaries of Wagner PMC.
I think that we will conduct this campaign quite calmly and in a good mood.
So, with optimism, the military commissars of the Russian Federation look at the draft campaign and further mobilization. In order to involve as many people as possible in the war against Ukraine, Russia began testing the distribution of electronic summonses. According to the new law, the draft summons will be considered delivered from the moment its electronic copy is posted in the personal account on the Public Services portal. After that, the person liable for military service will be prohibited from leaving the country until he comes to the military registration and enlistment office.
We will begin in test mode to notify citizens about their appearance at military commissariats through the Public Services portal, via SMS and in electronic mode. Here is such a feature.
On April 1st, conscription for military service started in Russia. The first recruits from collection points are already being sent to military units. Commanders assure relatives that conscript soldiers will not be sent to war against Ukraine, but they do not promise that recruits will not be offered to sign contracts with subsequent sending to the war. Reported by Serhiy Kulas, Natalia Husak, UATV News.